Well, Monday is the first official workday of the week, and today is such a day, Monday, the 16th of November 2020. Glad to have you join us this morning on the platform. This is the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a critical look at issues as it affects our dear nation Nigeria, and also as it affects our dear state Abia State. This program runs every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state. My name is Michael Oni, so you're welcome on board. Well, this morning we're looking at the educational sector right here in Abia State. Founded in 1981, the Abia State University is one of the state-owned tertiary institutions in Nigeria. So far, the school is reputed to have maintained a stable academic calendar in the past few years, notwithstanding frequent industrial actions that have become regular feature of many public universities. However, COVID-19 happened and so many issues came to the fore. Firstly, there was a protest by workers of this university who are alleging salary indebtedness, and secondly, a certain COVID-19 prevention fee. It turned controversial because it drew outrage, though it's been addressed by the state government, and recently a petition against the university management on the application of some intervention funds. Well, we promised to bring the university management to respond to some of the issues raised by commentators, and this morning we're glad to have the Vice Chancellor of the state-owned university in Abia State. The Vice Chancellor, he's a Nigerian professor of optometry. In December 2015, he became the 7th substantive Vice Chancellor of the Abia State University, having previously served as the Rector of Abia State Polytechnic Aba on rescue mission between 2014 and 2015. He's joining me virtually, Professor Uchenna Ikone. Professor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Samson, and good morning, listeners.
Yes, you're speaking with Michael on Flow 94.9 FM. You're welcome. So Samson is my producer. So let's begin the conversation. I would like us to start with your achievements before we delve into the challenges. So far, as the Vice Chancellor of Abia State University, what would you consider your major achievement?
Well, the university is an academic institution, so any achievement should be in line with promotion of excellence in academic disposition. And I think by the dictum of the motto of the university, excellence and service, which we apply strictly, we have tried to expand the academic base of the institution by introducing new professional courses. And just like you said in your introduction, we maintained uninterrupted academic calendar, which is very, very important for promotion of economy of education. Because if a student enters a 4-year program, and the parents can make arrangements based on the fees that between this period and this period my child or my ward will graduate. They can make financial provision for within that period. But if anything happens and it stays longer than 4 years, 5 years, it impinges on the economy of the family. So, and again, if you have a staggered academic program, it doesn't guarantee quality of education of what the student gets. So there are too many positive things involved if you're able to maintain the steady academic calendar, and we were able to do that by prioritizing the welfare of staff, both academic and non-teaching staff. We were able to prioritize within the limit of resources available to us up to before the lockdown. So when the lockdown came, the school closed, the students went, there was cessation of academic activities, there was no fund coming into the university anymore. So we were not able to meet up that obligation. But before then, we had a very, very steady academic calendar. And not only that, before I came on board, everybody was saying that Abia State University is very expensive and all that. But having been there for a pretty long time and knowing what is happening in other institutions, the official fee, which are the school fees, which the students pay, comparative to other similar institutions. So I found out that what made it expensive was unofficial fees students were meant to pay unofficially. Like if you give it the name extortion by some of our staff, not being able to get their results when they need it, they need to pay somebody to release their results and those kind of things. So what we did was to block all those areas, stop those things, selling of handouts. We stopped all those things, and set up a book committee so that we regulate the material that given to students and the cost. We're able to do all those things. You will expect that some people who are benefiting from those things wouldn't be happy. We were able to ensure security of the place. We were able to minimize the spread of cultism. If you recall that on March of 2016, I was greeted with a serious mayhem where 2 students were beheaded, and it went viral. That was a clear call for management to stand, and we stood up to it, and we were able to minimize court activities, and students felt free. We were able to put street lights in the quadrangle so that students can move around. Before then, people could snatch your phones. Students were not able to go to classes in the night without being molested and all that. We were able to stop all those things on the part of the students, and I tried to defend a lot of the students. I gave them my dedicated phone number. I said, you send me SMS, don't call me in case you're in trouble anywhere, where the immediate boss cannot help you. Send SMS to me, and I can tell you it paid off very well. That
interesting.
Most times, up to a point that students were calling me their senior course rep because they thought I was assisting them. I didn't want anybody to molest them. I wanted them to study in a very congenial academic atmosphere, which we were able to achieve. And even on part of my colleagues, the teaching staff, I made sure they got what was due them at any moment. The promotions were not delayed. We are known to have produced a great number of professors within our time, without discrimination, without your age. That as today we are touted to have produced the youngest professor who is even a bachelor up to now. So I didn't hold back what was due to anybody. I gave credit, but then we were able to maintain discipline. That was the aspect that most people may not be happy. That people who ran foul of the regulation. My administration had the courage to say to apply the regulation as it is written, so that even some people lost their jobs because they were involved in one malpractice or forgeries and all that. Which is the regulation.
Vice Chancellor, sir, let's look at the contentious issues now. The workers are still not happy. Maybe some of the workers, both from the academic staff union and the non-academic staff union of the university. How many months are they being owed?
Well, we paid them up to if you remember, the state government graciously released a palliative of 400 million, which we were able to pay the balance of April and the whole of May. So as at now, the last monthly they received was for May. So we are indebted to June, July, August, September, October. That's it.
Have you received the palliative in full? I'm talking about the university administration.
That's why we were able to. Yeah, I said we have utilized it.
So you're confirming receipt of the
Yes,
So what happened?
Utilized, yes.
This particular university has been a shining example even for the administration of Dr. Okezie in functions. He boasts about the stability of the university, the fact that the university is sustainable in paying herself. So what happened?
Yes. Well, everybody knows what happened. The natural disaster that affected the whole world, affected the economy all over the world. Even the federal government had to reduce their budget because of the economic depression occasioned by the COVID-19 issue. The state government had to reduce their budget by 60% to meet up the reality of the economic depression caused by the COVID-19. So the COVID-19, which I still call it a natural disaster because nobody anticipated it, it came and affected our way of life, our economy, and everybody is sitting home. Even in the families, people are not able to earn what they are supposed to earn. And that brought the word palliative everywhere. And everywhere. Palliative means to assist people to assist. So it affected the income of the university. The students were at home, and nobody was paying fees. So the university didn't have funds to maintain the welfare. We have been having on the staff all this while. That's just what happened.
Okay, so COVID-19 affected
running the school.
Yes, COVID-19 affected the revenue of the university.
The closure of the school, yes.
The closure of the school, which affected the revenue of the school. But some commentators are of the opinion that other universities were also affected by COVID-19, and we didn't hear about their lecturers threatening to go on strike, and also saying we're going to down tools. So why is Abia State University's case different?
To start with, you remember that academic staff union of universities nationwide had been on strike even before the lockdown, and they are still on strike up to now.
Yes.
Again, conditions of operation differs from one university to another. I'm not even sure there is any university that is up to date now in the salary payment because of this. So the conditions may differ, but in my own case, the only thing that affected indebtedness to the non-payment is just the lockdown. That's all. Okay. Any other university may have their own condition, which are
interesting. Okay, I want us to go deeper, Professor. But this morning, what is the wage bill, the current wage bill of Abia State University?
Well, I can't quote off it. I think it's the bursary issue, but it's not beyond what it's supposed to be. Okay. Comparatively, it is lower than most other state universities around us.
Okay, can we get a figure, maybe approximately?
I don't have a figure in my head now. I'm on the road. Yeah, calling me on phone. If I were in the office, maybe I would have preferred to come.
Oh, wonderful! But what about the subventions that you get from the state government?
That's why I started by telling you that the state government had to reduce its budget by 60%. That affected its responsibilities to most other parastatals, not just Abia State University.
Okay, the regular payment of subvention was another issue raised by the commentators. Now, I want us to go into that, Professor, this morning. How regular is the subvention you receive from the state government monthly?
It is as regular as the government is able to give us. That's how regular it is.
As regular as the government gives? Are you confirming that?
It's as regular as the government is able.
It's able
to meet up all its commitments, not just at the state university, to roads, to the citizenry, to other parastatals. That's how as regular as it is, given the economic depression.
Okay, I want us to go to and talk about the control of this university by Abia State government, how much control does the state government has over the university, Abia State University, being a state-owned university?
By law establishing the university, the sponsor, the proprietor of the university is the Abia State government. And that it exercises such a role over the university, the ownership, the proprietorship of the university. And that is why the governor is the visitor to
the university.
To the university, yes. And in this case, luckily for us, he's not just the visitor, he's also a member of academic staff. If you recall that he teaches in the Department of Clinical Biochemistry, pro bono. So that's the luck we have. So he's very familiar with us, he's very familiar with our conditions. He understands the language of the state university, having been a lecturer and the head of department in a similar university before coming into politics. So the law provides such exercise of authority over the university, and that's what the government is doing.
So let's be specific with what the state government does in the university, apart from provision of financing the university through subvention. Do you remit to the government also on a monthly basis, because you generate revenue through tuitions and also some other fees you charge your student? And also
we go for budgeting every financial year.
Okay.
And in budgeting, you give specific details of your expected earnings and your expected expenditure. We go through the planning. We go through the appropriation of the National State Assembly before the budget is approved. So by that, the government is aware the number of students we have in each department, what fees they pay, and how much we are able to realize, assuming we get 100% fee payment from each department. So they're also aware of the basic expenditure, the normal expenditure you are supposed to run in order to keep the place running, including the emoluments of staff. So so far it is, and our books are open for them to see. Especially now we run an online payment. So the department of the government that's the BIR, and can see what we earn each month and what we spend. Okay. So it's not a secret, yes.
Between the administration of the university and the state government, who fixes tuition fees and other fees for the student?
Remember, we have a governing council.
Yes.
The governing council is appointed by the visitor to the university. So the job, one of the functions of the governing council is policy implementation. So what students pay is one of the policy implementations which the governing council is responsible to. So management doesn't have the rights to increase whatever students pay.
It's done by the governing council of the institution,
with the approval of the government,
of the state government. Interesting.
Yes.
It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. And we've been speaking with Professor Uchenna Ikone. He is the 7th substantive vice chancellor of the Abia State University, the state-owned university right here in Abia State, and he's been answering questions bordering on the administration of the university, especially some of the contentious issues surrounding workers' salaries and also some other issues. But right now, Professor, let us go straight to the controversial COVID-19 prevention fee. I call it controversial. I don't know if you will agree with me, because it drew outrage, although it's been addressed. Now, let's look at that fee. You said that the governing council approves fees for the students, with also under the supervision of the state government. So who approved that COVID-19 prevention fee, and what led to the approval?
Well, this is a special fund. It's not like school fees. It's an incidental fee occasioned by the pressure of students and parents for them to return to school. Because if you recall, we were about sitting for the first semester examination before the lockdown. And for the students not to lose any academic year, there was this pressure that we should, and we had this NCDC protocol given to us by National Universities Commission. As a condition for any school that will be open, you have to meet up those conditions. And the NUC will come and inspect and approve before there were consultations. So consultations on all levels, staff unions and student body and finally the government before such pronouncement was made. So it was a collective responsibility, it wasn't imposed on anybody. So until it went through all the levels of consultation before the pronouncement was made. It's unfortunate that it was received with such a uproar, but as the head of the institution, I take responsibility for that. I'm not shying away from my responsibility, but there's no need going into the details again, because even the students, the staff unions, everybody knew that everybody council consulted very well at all levels, and even up to government level before the announcement was made. So now that it's been sorted out, I don't think we should be flogging a dead horse, but I say, as the head of the institution, I take responsibility for whatever comes out of it. So
before I throw the lines open, because I know our listener do want to ask you 1, 2, 3 questions concerning the administration of this university.
I'm not sure I have that time. We didn't prepare for this time, please.
All right, just
please. I'm in the office. I'm at work.
Let's take this.
I thought you said you would just give me a phone call and ask me this question.
All right, Professor, let's talk about the Tetfund. Of course, there is a very huge allegation outside that the university has received over 5 billion naira from the federal government in the space of 3 years, and it's been mismanaged. Actually, these are some of the issues raised by the commentators, and I'm sure
I don't know what you mean by mismanaged. Excuse me, I don't know what you mean by
it's an allegation. It's an allegation. I would like you to respond to it, Professor.
I'm responding now, please. Yes. We are living in an era of social media where anybody can sit in his parlor and write anything until it is proved. One, every university or tertiary institution is entitled to a normal intervention, Tetfund intervention from even colleges of education, polytechnics. And I can tell you for free that Tetfund is one of the most structured funding agencies of the federal government, in the sense that they follow you up. They don't just give you a fund and leave you to do whatever you have to prove yourself right that you merit it before they release this, and they follow you step by step to make sure the money is properly utilized. They have their consultants who come visit you every time, and if you don't, in course of doing a project, if you don't get up to a given stage, they don't release the next fund for you. And if you don't complete a given project, they don't release another allocation. You don't process it at all. As at now, we have 2 years normal allocation with us, which we cannot process because we have not completed the ones they gave us. Those projects are going on. I'm talking about normal intervention.
Okay.
There are other interventions which are special interventions. And for you to get those special interventions, it depends on the charisma of the vice chancellor, ability to interact with those, because it's not normal, especially for a state university. So during our time, we were able to attract what they call the high impact zonal allocation. Zonal is given to a tertiary institution in each of the 6 zones. Each year, they pick out one university and give a high impact of 3 billion naira. They give Polytechnic 1 billion naira. Most times, it is the federal universities in the zones that get it. But fortunately for me this time, we were able to give it to state university, our own state university, 3 billion, and I announced it in the Senate. And people suggest the projects we have to do with it, which they suggested. Those projects are going on now. They are going on in the 3 campuses, Utru, Aba, and Umaya. The projects are going on. They have not been completed. In fact, most times, because of the process, strict process involved in this Tetfund something, most vice chancellors don't complete their project during their 5-year tenure. Most times it spills over to the tenure of the other vice chancellor because of the strict processing involved. It doesn't go smoothly. You must complete. The consultants must come and see. So for somebody to say it was a mismanager, I don't know. It means the person does not know how the Tetfund functions.
Okay.
There are, apart from projects, there are aspects of it that concern training. There are a number of our graduate assistants that are overseas in UK doing one training or sponsored by Tetfund. For the first time, I was able to get research topics funded. For the first time, my first year when I got was 38 research topics funded by the Tetfund. It's called Institutional Based Research Fund, to the tune of 2 million naira per research. The first year I got 38 research topics, and they assigned it to almost all the departments who submitted their research proposal. The second year we got 43 research topics approved. The professors and who are doing the research are there. We even got a fund for book publication. The staff can write a manuscript and send to Tetfund. If they approve it, they will fund it. About 4 or 5 professors have gotten their books published for the first time. These things were not happening in that school before. And I tell you, for the first time, Abia State University won National Research Fund allocation from one is the institutional base, which is 2 million naira. The National Research Fund has a maximum of 50 million naira. If a lecturer writes a proposal, it goes through the approval from all research topics from all lecturers in other universities, right?
Okay.
Are you there?
I'm getting you, Professor.
Yeah, so I'm telling you the diverse areas that these things are verifiable. So when somebody is talking about billions as if in my pocket, for the first time, what I'm telling you is that go ask anybody who is in that university. We've never heard of a National Research Fund allocation. But during my time, we have gotten 3. The first one was 37 billion naira. The professor that is heading the research team is Professor O.C. Anwama in vision science. The second one, which we got recently, I think it's about 40 something million, is being headed. The research team is being headed by Professor Bulu of finance department. So these are the monies people are talking about that you got and it's being mismanaged. These things are not given to the vice chancellor. They are not given to the vice chancellor. But it is my responsibility to go to Abuja and make sure that what is due us, we get it. And we have been getting it. And we have been utilizing it. And for the past 3 years, Abia State University has turned to a beehive of research activities. If you go to our laboratories, because Tetfund also gives money for equipment in laboratories. If you go to our microbiology laboratory, now if you see, it is a state-of-the-art laboratory. In fact, last year when they came for accreditation here, the accreditation team for microbiology was headed by a professor from Ahmad Bello University. The man went there and shouted and said this thing cannot be a state university. In fact, he renamed us a federal state university. How can you be getting this quality of sponsorship, which they themselves don't have as a state university? Go to Department of Physics, the type of equipment they have. In fact, one time the dean said in the Senate that they didn't ask for this equipment, that we need to employ a technologist who will now brief them on how to use this equipment, massive laboratory equipment, which we have gotten from Tetfund. If you go to our store now, it's even packed. There are many that have not been installed because their buildings are not ready. The Department of Optometry, if you enter the campus now, you will see a 2-story building.
All right. If I allow you, you're going to continue from now. I don't think you're ready to stop, especially on the usage of that particular phone.
Let me tell you.
Yes, Professor.
Tell you that anybody who knows the working of this thing should commend me. Though I'm not asking for commendation, you should commend me to have been able to attract those things, because it's not easy. We're a state university. We're not a federal university.
All right.
The Tetfund is a federal agency.
So Professor, before I let you go, since you're a very busy man, I would like to ask you, when is the university opening for session? Your students are listening right now, and they are hoping to be back on the campus very soon.
I'm anxious to bring them back. I'm anxious to get them. Management is anxious. Council is anxious.
Okay.
But we have to put things in right. You know, you remember in the NYC camp the other day, in fact, I don't know whether they have shut down. They say most people tested the positive who came to the camp. So we can't bring thousands of students from their homes and in that hostel and without adequate provisions to meet up the minimum NCD's requirements. We are working on it. We are working on it, and I'm sure that very soon they will reopen.
All right, thank you very much, Professor Uchenna Ikone, the Vice Chancellor of the Abia State University. I do appreciate your time on the program this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
We're hopeful to have you again some other time also to respond to some issues concerning.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
I do appreciate. All right, it is time to throw the lines open. We've been speaking with Professor Uchenna Ikone. He's a professor of optometry, of course. Since December 2015, he's been the professor, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Abia State University, the 7th substantive Vice Chancellor of the University. I know you have comments. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep him on the line to respond to some of your questions, but we can have them, definitely. The conversation continues right here. The lines are very much open. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM, 0808 182 6949 or 0811-605-2949. You can also drop messages on 0906-510-8289. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael Oni.
You're welcome.
It's Alvan. I'm calling you from Bend.
All right, Alvan.
Yeah, honestly, Professor Ikone deserves a commendation. He has done so well. Only those who don't know what he's doing will try to discredit him. You know, if you look at the university ranking, that's moved, so much. And again, performance, academic excellence. We've had Absu law students win the overall best, in several occasions. So what we have done so well in terms of expanding the university, if you go to Aba campus and see what he's doing, the engineering, where the engineering department will move. And again, in Omaya here, where the lawsuit, it's really working in terms of not only providing infrastructure. And again, there is something he did in that university that we love so much, because when you finish from that school, for you to assess your result, you struggle it out. But this time around, you be in the comfort of your home, press some buttons, and you will have access to everything, even exploitation by lecturers in terms of spelling, handout, and the rest of them. So we will not, because of a recent global health crisis, which is not peculiar to others. If you go to even the private universities, they are not finding it easy.
Quickly wrap
so,
up
and I must commend the governor for always coming to their assistance. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you for your take. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
I hope the professor is the professor there.
No, Professor got busy. I had to let him go.
All right, sir. I remember Mr. Prince from here, no Monaco.
All right, Mr. Princeville.
Yes, Mike. I'm very grateful on the announcement of the governor of Abia State to have reduced the money being given to students through their tuition fee. I'm very, very grateful. But the question is this: if the VC had been there, or if he's hearing me, I'm asking this question: with this reduction in the salary, the payment of student fees, I know the other state government management, or the other state university management, they will not interfere by increasing the money as students pay. Now that they have about to reopening, something happened. The supplement in their COVID-19 money. Now they postponed it. I know it's not allergy for them to increase the student fee in the other way around, since the governor has reduced it. That's my question. May God bless you, my brother.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Princewell. We've got another person on the line. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Victor Emmanuel.
All right, Victor.
I'm calling from Omar here.
All right, you're welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much for the interview with the Vice Chancellor of Abia State University.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, we have had his response and how much he has been doing to keep the university going. And we know from time that Abia State University is ranking very high in Nigeria. And one thing that affects us so much about the university, even from the time we're in the university, we have discovered that students of Abia State University within the Southeast and Nigeria generally pay very high fees. And most parents here are oblivious of that, and we are apprehensive of sending our kids to that university because of the high cost. A lot of demands are being put on students in that institution. We begin to, ask whether the education in Abia State, whether it is quite different from education elsewhere in Nigeria. For instance, last time during the admission process, we noticed that some fees were charged. They call it acceptance fee of 150,000 naira. And when you look at the numerous fees being charged on students, you begin to wonder, parents in Abia State, whether they can be able to meet up. And right now, the government is saying that the management of some of these parastatals are responsible for paying fees. From what the professor has said now, we discovered that the same government fixes through its appointees, the council fixes school fees. So we don't know who to hold responsible.
All right,
so
quickly
they
wrap
will
up the
have to
third.
come up. Yes, that's
all right.
my contribution. Let
Thank
them
you.
come up and tell us the truth and see what they can do to make sure that people of Abia State enjoy from that university. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you for your contribution. Keep your calls coming, keep your messages coming. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. Messages on 0906 510 8289. Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Jeff Uzoma Oji. I'm just listening to the.
Oh, sorry about that, Jeff. I guess it's the network. You can try and call back. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. My name is Emmanuel.
All right, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I want to commend Economy. He has really done well for Abia State University. But the issue is this: you asked a question regarding subvention, how regular it has been, but he seems to be economical with the truth, and he's not helping the system by being economical with it. The state government have been funding Abia State University, and these monies are being budgeted for, and we can't continue like this. That is all the simple truth. How often do we get this subvention? How often can the staff of Abia State University receive their money? He commended the staff of Abia State University for putting up all the crew to
get other states university to the rank where it is right now. But these people that labor so much for this are not being paid. Is it fair? It's not fair. We must tell ourselves the truth. So I would implore you and your colleagues as journalists to investigate more. Let's know how other universities are being funded. How they are especially coming from the angle of the government, the state government. How often have they paid their subventions, and how often do they intend to pay? Because we can't continue like this. People are dying of hunger and starvation. It's not fair.
All right.
Thank you
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Ugo from outside the Christian Kingdom.
All right. You're welcome, Mr. Ugo.
Yeah, Michael, Professor Kone has told you the truth and nothing but the truth. And I can't understand why somebody will say he's economical with the truth.
No, let's not respond to a caller. Let's just go straight to the issues.
Michael, you also know that I'm also the special advisor to the government on media.
I quite agree with
I
you.
should also put straight some things that are not correct. I think you grant me that. If somebody says that you've spoken to the vice chancellor and he's telling you that the school is being funded by the government, this is an institution in the past 5 years that has been able to run itself as it's supposed to be. So what is the idea of telling you that it's being economic? It's not being economical with the truth, Michael. He has told you, for him to even come on air to explain to you how he's running the institution means that he's transparent. And he has been able to tell you, these are the money that have come from Tetfund. This is what is being done. And I can tell you, within the week or next, we'll be going to see some of those projects. And this is a man that have been able, even under the COVID. Yes, we know that the COVID came and the school had challenges of paying, their salary. And of course, it's not just Abia State University. Even in LASU, that is owned by Lagos State, when they resumed, they had an issue. The teachers were on strike. So it's a global thing. But I think that what we should be able to do is to comment where necessary and to criticize objectively. This is my alma mater, and I can tell you for sure that we are topping the rank in terms of state universities, and Ikone has done well. I repeat it again, Ikone has done well. God bless you.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you. Oh, I lost that. Hello, good morning. You're live on radio. Good morning to you. What's wrong with the lines? Let's see if the next one will pull through. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, you're welcome.
It's Ikechukwu calling from Umai.
All right, Ikechukwu.
We're talking about subvention. This subvention, is it captured in the state budgetary allocation? Because it's corruption. It's a state-owned institution. It's the number one state academic tertiary-owned institution.
What do you refer as corruption, please?
Okay,
what are you referring as corruption?
Good. When it is not meant to be subvented, and it's not in act of amendment, it should be subvented, and the government subvent it without approval from the reverse budget. It's corruption now.
Are you saying that Abia State University is not meant to be subvented?
Yes, you should ask the speaker. I think this interview is not complete until we hear from the state assembly. The last time the honorable was there, he talked how much all the funds they are receiving. We know they even access global fund on education, all this, even the test fund, all these things. But what we are saying now, the Abia State House of Assembly make a legislature an edict empowering governor.
I think you're getting it wrong. Abia State University and other parastatals are meant to be subvented by the government. It's more like a grant of money in aid or support that the government gives on a monthly basis.
But was it an act of parliament from the State House of Assembly? It's not true. Because another governor can come and say, no, I don't want to subvent it. You get what I'm telling you. We don't allow wrong practice to continue. There are some wrong practice we are doing. It may favor you now, but another system may come. It find out it's a big blow. You get what I'm saying? If you are how much are you subventing? At what stage?
These are things you need to find out. You understand? If it is not captured in the budget, you are not meant to subject it. Even if it's captured in the budget, the House of Assembly approve it.
All right, I understand your point. You're questioning the legality. So you're questioning the legality of the subvention. I understand your point.
That's what I'm questioning.
All right.
I'm telling you.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts anyway.
And the second question.
Your time is up actually.
Okay, how much do you university come out annually? What is that making? Total amount.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Let's take the last call. Then we run the messages and we step out of the studio on the platform today on Flow 94.9 FM. Okay, Enyoko from Ohia. Okay, Noble Ihan Ichuku says, good morning. Abia State University Management has scored 80%. That's coming from Noble. Let's take this and we wrap up the program this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome.
God bless you. Yes, Sir Ike.
All right, Sir Ike.
You see, I think taking a lead from the last caller, I want to make it clear that it is obvious some of us are not well informed. And it is on record that the Absu has been under this particular kind of policy, talking about subvention, even before the administration of the OPZ. So our opinion shouldn't be saying a line as if the OPZ that introduced the subvention of other things and other parastatals in the state. It has been a legal policy, well backed up by the legislative arm of other state government. And what we should be talking about, how to suspend the subvention of some of these institutions so as to enable them meet up their obligation, especially the aspect of paying a salary. But if you look very well and see that they are not able to meet up with some of these expectations, what we should also do is to can amend the constitution or whatever law that have approved this kind of so that to take up another kind of policy that will help us solve some of these problems. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, and that's how far we can go this morning on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. We've come to the climax of the program for today, being the 16th day in the month of November 2020. Don't forget, you can watch this episode again on our Facebook page. We've been streaming on Facebook a live video on facebook.com/Flow949FM. You can also watch this episode again and again and subscribe on our YouTube page, Flow FM TV. Many thanks to the guys that behind that wonderful platform, Stanley and Solomon. And also many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Eze. The program returns on Wednesday. We will definitely bring another issue. We will definitely trash on Wednesday right here on Flow 94.9 FM. My name is Michael Oni.